Manchester United have taken another step forward to the signing of Dutch and Ajax centre-back Timber. Paul Hurst, one of the leading sports journalists in the UK working for The Times, has stated that United have opened talks with Ajax over the potential signing of Timber. Ajax will not sell the player cheaply. However, it is thought that a fee up to 43 million could be required to sign Timber. Now, this news comes after weeks of speculation, weeks of news from various other outlets, maybe not with the same kind of clout at the Times, stating that this deal ranged from anywhere from talks have begun due to advanced. It was reported by a number of journalists just yesterday that the representatives of Timber were in the UK just a few days ago to negotiate with Manchester United. So could we now be on the edge of United's first signing under Erik ten Hag, a player that he has been pushing hard for? We're going to delve into that. We're going to look at the Torres situation as well and what that looks like after the big updates yesterday from Dean Jones. We're also going to talk about Lukaku's big decision that he's got to make and have a bit of a transfer roundup for you. But smash the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the Football Terrace right now. Let's do this. There's so many stories surrounding Ajax, Man United, Timber, Torres at the moment. It's very intriguing for me to watch and read, and it's kind of about digesting it and coming up with your own thoughts and your own feelings. As mentioned already, one of the most credible journalists around, Paul Hurst here, stating that talks have opened between Manchester United and Ajax. Now, this for me is always an encouraging sign, and I want to say this with respect to other journalists, but I feel the up-and-coming journalists, the individuals on the rise, they will typically go a little bit earlier with transfer news than your Paul Hursts, than your Simon Johnsons, your Matt Laws, your Fabrizios, your Damasio's. They tend to go a little bit earlier. You know, they're trying to grow their name. They're trying to get their stories out there. They take a little bit more of a risk of a deal not happening. When you start to see this type of news that official talks have opened, you know that things are progressing very quickly. Or you know that things are coming to a point where they may, because things can always go wrong, end up in a situation very, very soon where this deal is coming to an end. This news was also sort of shared yesterday as well by the likes of Jamie Jackson, who said Man United are in contact with Ajax regarding Timber, with Ten Hag wanting to make the defender one of his first signings. It goes on in that same article, if you scroll down, that Timber has 2 years left on his contract, so Ajax may value him at around 50 million euros. United's discussions with the club are at an initial stage, and Ajax are understood to have offered Timber a new deal. So, again, everybody knows my thoughts and feelings on this. I feel like when the clubs are at their initial conversations, the actual overall situation is a little bit more advanced because the vast majority of contact happens prior to this via intermediaries. There's generally a lot of due diligence and scouting, and I'm not talking just about the player, that goes into action before the club starts to negotiate. So that when Man United come to the table, they're already in and around the area that Ajax would like to see them so that it can save a little bit of time. That's the hope with this situation. And there's a couple of options here for Timber. He could sign his new deal and stay at Ajax. He can move to Manchester United. That's the big way up here. If Man United don't offer enough money, he'll stay and he'll probably sign a new deal because he'll earn more money. Why would he not do that? And then maybe in a year, 18 months, 2 years, look to move away again. This is about Man United, though, using their influence with Ajax, the relationship they have with Van der Sar, and of course, our manager has a lot more sway than probably Man United do in this circumstance, trying to get this price down as cheap as possible. It was initially touted at being a deal around 30 to 35 million pounds. It's now looking to be near on to 10 million pounds more expensive than that, and Manchester United are going to want to push that down. That equally could be the situation. That could equally be the reason why Man United are still not stalling on this deal, but haven't put that official bid in yet. Because remember, the official bid doesn't go in until everything is agreed. It's become almost a boring process now, but that's just how things lie. But going through social media, myself, all you've got to do is search the word timber. And it's kind of what I like doing now, just to see what the stories are saying. I don't see to hear from Fabrizio on the United stand. I don't see Ajax accepting less than 45 to 50 million euros. You've got United faithfuls here with sort of ticking it down. Of course, you've got the the European lad who says Timber not signing a new contract wouldn't necessarily mean he would leave this summer. I suppose that's the thoughts that everybody's got, that there's stuff of him turning up to training and whatever else. There's lots of different opinion pieces on this as well. You've got this Hayden Croft guy, and I don't know how credible this individual is. He says that Man United are making serious progress in this transfer. There's all sorts of stories circulating around it, but it certainly feels like Man United are pushing hard with this one. And you've also got the Pau Torres situation, which is interesting because Dean Jones spoke about this very candidly yesterday, very open and honestly. And this is where football fans have got to start listening beyond the bullet point journalism that we see. Pau Torres, Man United, Villarreal have been in deep talks for a while now, not just this summer, a while, 18 months, 2 years about this deal. Villarreal expect Man United to sign him. Villarreal expect that deal to go through. People close to Villarreal have told journalists in the UK, listen, we think it's going to happen, the way Man United have been talking, the way they've reignited the interest. The caveat to that from Dean, because Dean plays all sides, and when I say plays all sides, that's contacts everywhere, is that this still may not happen. If the Manchester United board, which they're highly likely to do, turn around and say, listen, we're signing one centre-back, not two. Eric, which of the two would you prefer? If Eric says, I want Timber, the Pau Torres deal comes to an absolute end. The intriguing thing for me is to see who we go with and why, the cost of that individual. And then, of course, more importantly, which one actually turns out to be the better player. So I want your view and opinion on this. Which of the two signings would be best for United? Leave it in the comment section now. Make sure you're smashing that like button as well. Now, another story that I wanted to speak about today was Lukaku's. Lukaku has a big decision to make. There's no shadow of a doubt. He has a huge, huge decision to make as a football player. There's no doubt. Now, his agents or his lawyers have had conversations with Inter Milan about returning. We know, because we brought this news to you on the Terrace just a week or so ago. Bayern Munich are interested in him replacing Lewandowski. That news has now picked up pace. That news has now, gained a lot more traction in the past 24 hours. I've got a friend who works at a private airport in London. They have meeting rooms there. Oliver Kahn, of course, very senior at Bayern Munich, had a meeting with Lukaku's reps at their offices. So this has been going on for a while. Lukaku is also open to staying he's also open to staying at Chelsea. But that's very much caveated with, if you change the style of play to suit me. So where do you all think Lukaku is going to end up? Is it going to be Inter Milan? Is he going to go to Bayern Munich? Will he stay at Chelsea Football Club? I want to get your take on this. I want your views. We will, of course, be speaking later today around 4 p.m. to Ben Jacobs. Very well connected, highly credible journalist. Will be back on the Football Terrace. We're excited about that for a live episode of the Done Deal Show. So any kind of transfers that you want to speak about, know about, talk about, have any thoughts or feelings on, I would love to hear from you. I would love to get your thoughts. I'd love to know, what kind of questions you want us to go through. We will read through these and kind of run that back, as it were. In terms of other roundups, I know a lot of people keep tweeting and asking me, what's your thoughts on Bastoni? Do you think Bastoni could happen, etc., etc.? The Lukaku deal could play a part in this. Chelsea needs centre-backs. Inter need a goal scorer. Bastoni he's open to leaving. You've got too many top teams circling for him to not be open for leaving. I don't trust Inter Milan when they say a player definitely isn't going to go. They said Lukaku wasn't going to go last year. He did. They've tied Lautaro Martinez down to a new deal, but he's on the market this summer. Bastoni is seriously considering Tottenham. So would you put it past Chelsea to work on a deal there to help solve a centre-back problem, raise some money, get rid of a big problem in Lukaku, because, by the way, I still do think he's a big problem in that dressing room. Could that be the way forward for him? You know, stay at Chelsea, return to Inter, or replace Lewandowski? Which of the three do you think he should do? I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that, people. In terms of done deals, listen, Ryan Gravenberch will undergo his medical test at Bayern Munich. I think today that is a done deal. 2027 that he will be at the club for. Top player, absolute tip-top player, and it's going to be intriguing. Again, this is one of the reasons why a lot of people judge Ten Hag in such a, he hasn't won anything too serious yet, hasn't done this, hasn't done that. One thing I always say when it comes to anyone who's managing Ajax, when they've created 2 or 3 really good teams in the last few years, but they always get their players pulled away from them. I know they have to because there's no money there. But God help Europe if the Eredivisie ever started raising serious money. If suddenly, you know, an Elon Musk or a Bill Gates sort of invested into that league as in the structure of football there, and they could keep their players. Think about all the individuals that have left Ajax in the last 5 years. Imagine they were all able to stay and they could buy. Dangerous football club in that regard. But listen, people, everybody that has tuned in this morning, thank you. As I say, big updates later on today. Jules Koundé to Chelsea is one of them. We'll be looking at Tottenham. We'll be looking at Man United. We'll be looking at Arsenal. All live on the Done Deal Show. Make sure you're tuning in. Fan channel reaction later this morning as well, so keep your eyes peeled. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.